So a couple of days ago, I was scrolling over on Threads and I came across a post by the Meidas Touch. And the post reads, Meidas Touch Network will no longer be producing or carrying the show Political Beatdown or Mea Culpa with Michael Cohen. And that was it. They didn't elaborate. They said nothing more. And so now that it's a few days later, stuff is coming out. Let's talk about it. Now, we all know who Michael Cohen is, but just in case you don't know who Michael Cohen is, Michael Cohen is a former attorney for Donald Trump. Michael Cohen ended up going to prison because of Donald Trump, the things that he would do for Donald Trump. Michael Cohen was nicknamed the fixer for Donald Trump. Michael Cohen was the one who facilitated the whole payoff with Stormy Daniels. I think it was $150,000, I think. Research it. And so all of the illegalities, the criminal activity that was happening surrounding that ordeal, Michael Cohen went to prison. And then he testified against Donald Trump in the case, Letitia James's case, where she charged Donald Trump for fraud. She won that case, by the way. He owed the state of New York $500+ million. Anywho, after him going to prison, he supposedly, Michael Cohen, supposedly had seen the light. He wanted to come over to the side of truth, yada, yada, yada. But I just always side-eyed Michael Cohen because Michael Cohen was in deep with all of the criminality with Donald Trump and the people around him. He was in deep and he had no problems until he felt that Donald Trump hung him out to dry. Donald Trump went on to be president and he ended up going to prison, right? And so I never jumped on the bandwagon with let's give Michael Cohen a second chance because he's found a new leaf and he's turned over a new leaf and he is doing the right thing now. He's speaking out against Donald Trump and his criminality. Well, Michael Cohen is now reporting. He wrote an article and I believe another outlet, he spoke to another outlet. I want to say it was the Daily Mail or the Daily Caller. And he is saying that Letitia James coerced him into testifying against Trump. Michael Cohen is now trying to get back into Donald Trump's good graces. Why? I suspect that Michael Cohen wants a pardon or he's missing that criminal life.
One of the people he's been trying to get through is he's built, it's so interesting, he's built a relationship with George Santos. So, yes.
Moscow George. Yeah.
More breaking news, folks. More breaking news. We're gonna give you lots of breaking news. So he's built a relationship, and through others, like he's kept a relationship with Matt Gaetz in the background, and others that he's been trying to get into Trump world, and asking me even how he could get there because he has a way. He told me that he could deliver him and Jesse Jackson Jr. could deliver Trump the Democratic vote, and Trump could win. And that would get Jesse Jackson a pardon, he'd get a pardon, we'd all get pardons. I turned around, told him, said, you're a sick man. if you think that Trump cares about your plan about democracy while you embarrassed him and his wife in front of the whole world about his little pecker and Stormy Daniels, I said, that means you don't know Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So he answered me very interesting. He goes to me, Lev, no, on the contrary, I know Donald Trump very well. And I'm telling you, if we could find something, because he was saying we, because he thought I wanted a pardon also, so I was playing along with it. He goes, if we could find something that could be big enough that Trump, it doesn't matter. He will forget it. Look at with J.D. Vance. And that started, I got the head thinking at that moment. I was like, what is he really up to? What is he looking at, So I started playing him in the background, listening to some of his conversation. But at that point, I was already on his case. And then if you guys go back to look at some of our Unleashed episodes, you'll see that we started butting heads and going until finally that last one where we hit it. So here's their plan, guys. Michael Cohen has, and I don't know if it's true exactly, who has finally reached out to Trump's ear, has lied about this whole extravagant story to be able to give Trump, and this is Michael's plan that he pitched Trump, and I guess Trump bought into it because this is where we are now, that Trump could get his whole case thrown out. Because it's in appeals right now, because Michael Cohen is going to come out and say that he was coerced by these prosecutors, and specifically Letitia.
Shout out to fellow commentator Keith Edwards. I got that little bit of tea, that video clip from him. And yes, Lev Parnas was right.
Well, former Trump fixer turned critic Michael Cohen is now sharing new insights about his role in that case brought against then candidate Donald Trump. Cohen now claims that prosecutors in both the Manhattan DA's office and the state's attorney general's office coerced him into delivering testimony to secure convictions against his former boss. CB Cotton is live in New York with the latest on this version of Cohen's story. Hi, CB.
Hey, Aisha, a different version indeed. So in this explosive Substack post, Michael Cohen suggested he's not trying to defend President Trump, but instead wants to shed light on how cases are built and what happens behind closed doors before a jury ever hears a word. And this morning, Aisha, President Trump appears to agree with Cohen's comments, writing on Truth Social in part, quote, "It was a setup from the beginning." Michael Cohen, once President Trump's personal lawyer, was considered a key witness in the hush money and civil fraud cases against then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Now Cohen says it was clear to him during the time he spent prepping for the two trials that prosecutors only wanted testimony that would convict Trump. He wrote on Substack in part, quote, "Letitia James and Alvin Bragg may not share the same office or political calendar, but they share the same playbook. Both used their platforms to elevate their profiles to claim the mantle of the officials who took down Trump. In doing so, they blurred the line between justice and politics. And in that blur, the credibility of both suffered." Cohen, who served prison time for fraud and lying to Congress, also wrote that he initially cooperated in the cases, hoping it would reduce his own sentence and secure his early release from federal prison. We reached out to both the Manhattan DA's office and the New York Attorney General's office for their response to Cohen's comments, but I've not yet heard back. Aisha.
Okay, CB Cotton live for us in New York. CB.
Yep. I don't blame the Meidas touch. If it wasn't for the Meidas touch, Michael Cohen would not have had the reach or the sizable platform that he had. It was the Meidas touch that gave him the opportunity to show that he had turned over a new leaf. And that opportunity that the Meidas touch gave him, Michael Cohen said, "F you, I'm going back over here." But there's more. Not only is he trying to get back in good with Donald Trump, whether it's for a pardon or whether he missed that whole thing, it's also being found out that Michael Cohen is in the e-files. Here's the email exchange that mentions Michael Cohen. It says Mike Monaco and Barry Spivak called on behalf of Cohen. They asked whether we would file a Rule 35 and requested a meeting to discuss it. I asked what had changed since we told them on April 17th that we did not intend to file such a motion. They said that Cohen has heard Trump say things about Epstein, but would not go into detail at this time about what those were. They then attempted to rehash our April 17 conversation about Rule 35 and asked for specifics about what Cohen had done to undermine his credibility. I said I would consider whether we were willing to provide more specifics. Now, I don't know what Rule 35 is. I don't know the full context of that. But here's what Lev Parnas had to say about it.
This is Michael's attorney saying that Michael Cohen has information about Donald Trump and the Epstein files. Let me repeat this again for all of you out there that might be Michael Cohen still or whatever. Let me repeat again. Michael Cohen's name is in the Epstein files. That's fact. This is not, and nobody's accused. We're not accusing him of anything. This is DOJ factual in it. You could go take a look. His name is in them. Just like Donald Trump, just like Clinton's name, Michael Cohen's name is in the Epstein files. Michael Cohen's name is not just mentioned in the Epstein files. The fact that says his lawyers wrote to the Southern District of New York, fact that Michael Cohen would like to get out of prison quicker because he has information about Donald Trump and Epstein. That's it, folks. That's fact. All this other stuff that Michael Cohen and everybody's trying to deflect on is nonsense. And that's what I don't understand. Why can't this be simple? Why can't we just say, Michael?
So according to Lev Parnas, it was Michael Cohen that reached out to Letitia James's office because he said he had information in regards to Donald Trump and the e-files. And he wanted to leverage that information to try to get out of jail quicker. I don't blame the Meidas touch for cutting ties. But they cut ties and didn't say anything about why they were cutting ties until Ron Filipkowski put this information into one of his Substack posts, buried it way down at the bottom. Let's read it, shall we? This is Ron Filipkowski's Substack if you want to go over and read it for yourself. You open up the article and you scroll all the way to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom, and you'll find this message. Here's what Ron Filipkowski says. A word from me on Michael Cohen. As many of you know, Cohen posted a Substack late Friday night claiming that he was pressured and coerced by prosecutors leading up to his testimony against Trump. Trump and right-wing media immediately seized on it. Trump made a true social post seeking to discredit the entire case. I'm not sure exactly what Cohen's angle is here. Maybe this has something to do with his statement last year that he wanted a pardon from Trump, and it was a back channel to him that this was the first step to make that happen. Who knows? As with most things, Cohen, you just really never know what the truth is during the manipulations. Obviously, we work for the same company, but my personal contact with him was extremely minimal intentionally, so on my part. I do not trust anyone who worked for Trump for an extended period of time, especially someone who served as his fixer. He has admitted to things that I could never imagine doing in a million years. I also never believed that he was sincere in his mea culpas because everyone was always heavily laced with deflection of blame to others while claiming victimhood. Michael Cohen was never a victim. He was an accomplice. My view has always been that, and he was only sorry about getting caught. It also caused me to revisit Cohen's trial testimony, where the Trump defense team alleged that he only finally turned on Trump because he thought he was going to get a senior position in the White House counsel's office and didn't. This now sounds very plausible to me after Friday. I know many of you trusted him as the brothers did. Manipulators can be very persuasive. The second I saw what he wrote on Friday night, I was fuming because it just confirmed my prior beliefs, which were no secret to people who know me. I was very happy to see the brothers take swift action to end our relationship with him because it was the right thing to do. I believe in them and this company. We all make mistakes. That mistake has been corrected. I can't be bought. My integrity isn't for sale at any price. If I was penniless and homeless, someone offered me $10 million to advocate for something I didn't believe in, I would refuse it. My lifelong hero has been Gandhi, material things being nothing to me. I don't seek wealth, fame, or recognition. I have no ego about any of this. I don't promote myself. I turn down a lot of things because I don't care about all that. I want to live a comfortable but humble life and always speak truth. I think I am blessed with the ability to cut through the BS to find truth in any country governed by lies. My mission is to relentlessly expose the lies and get as much factual and reliable information to people about what is happening. I think everyone who currently works for this company is on the same page with that and is moving together in the same direction. Even though for a time we had someone who really only ever cared about himself. I think I am blessed with the ability to cut through the BS to find truth in a country governed by lies. My mission is to relentlessly expose the lies and get as much factual and reliable information to people about what is happening. I think everyone who currently works for this company is on the same page with that and is moving together in the same direction. Even though for a time we had someone who really only ever cared about himself. Now all of this makes much more sense. Will the brothers ever speak out on it? Do they need to? I don't know. I really don't care. But yeah, Michael Cohen is back to his true form. The fixer, a criminal. I'll see y'all later.